on this side and I've got YouTube Live directly in front of me. And if I could indulge you just a few more minutes or a minute or two just to see who else is going to pop in uh, on the YouTube Live itself. So today we're talking about goal setting and the four elements to goal setting for maximum productivity. And this is not rocket science. You guys all know this. It's that we don't consistently do it though. That's the problem. Yesterday we talked about setting a vision and having a really clear vision uh, to give some clarity of purpose to yourself, your organization, and really to drive yourself forward. You need that really big goal, that big vision in the future that you're working towards. So, in order to give that clarity of purpose, that vision to yourself primarily, but also your teams, your organizations, it's really important to break that big vision down into a series of bite-sized chunks. And when you break things down into these smaller chunks, they're much more easy to digest. And I find with myself personally that the vision of the future can be somewhat distant and very very large, and you need to have that smaller chunks, the smaller elements, to really allow yourself to chip away at it. So why, if goals are so important, we don't have them, or so many of us don't use them? I think that there's a few reasons, and I think the first one is most people think that goals are unimportant and don't have the value, and that's obviously far from the truth. But if you've never been introduced to goals, you've never understood the value of setting goals and hitting goals, then it's just not in your repertoire. And I can only advise, and as the most successful people in the world use goals, then we should emulate what they do, and it is a no-brainer. And then there's the other people who don't know how to. They don't know how to set goals, they don't know how to make sure that they're hitting them, and it seems rather simplistic that somebody wouldn't know, but if you don't know what you don't know, you really don't. And then there's, within that category of not knowing how to have goals, some people think they have goals like lose more weight, earn so much money, but they're not really goals, they're more dreams. They People say I'd like to get fitter, but that's just a dream or a wish, it's not really a goal. So the next one is that people fear failure. And I think this one's really a tricky one, and it really goes to the heart of who we are as humans. Fearing failure, we all, as humans, we want to protect ourselves from failure all the time. That's an innate caveman kind of a protective mechanism that stops us from being killed by lions and eaten by tigers. We want to make sure that we protect ourselves, and this is it's very hurtful if you have a goal and you fail to hit it. It can be very demoralizing. So the caveman brain says, well, I might as well not set a goal, because then I can't fail at it, or I'll set one that's inordinately easy, and therefore I'm going to hit it every time, and I'll give myself that dopamine rush of hitting that goal, but really it's not moving me forwards. And the last one for why people don't have goals is they fear rejection. So just like painful emotional hurt of not hitting a goal, people don't want to be told or derided or put down by other people if they fail a goal. And the very simple thing to avoid being told by other people is just not to tell other people. It's pretty simple. So you can have your goals and you can have your big, hairy, audacious goal right at the beginning. Know your vision, have your audacious goals, have your bite-sized goals, but just don't tell anyone. They can see the results of what you do. You don't have to reveal everything. So the crux of this talk is about the four elements that you need really to make good goals and have good goals and have a good goal experience. So the first one's very simple. It's make them specific. So instead of saying I'm going to um, uh, earn so much money, I'm going to earn more money. It's better to say I'm going to earn £150 this week or this day or whatever it is. But you know very clearly if you've hit that goal or not. And we all know when we're trying to get fitter or lose weight, it's much better when we've got a very specific and directed and targeted goal, so we know whether we've hit it or not. So for me, if I want to update the blog or I want to write something, I don't say I'm going to write today. I say I'm going to write 400 words on this topic by this time. It's much more likely to get done. And then the second element of good goals is to make them realistic. And making realistic goals means that they have to be challenging, but they have to be realistic. There's no point in setting something that's so unrealistic and out there that inevitably you're going to fail, and by failing it's going to reinforce the fact that these goals are not really for me, and I need to stop doing this, or I need to reduce to reduce my goals to very simple ones, and therefore not really move forward towards my vision, because that's the ultimate goal. So make them realistic, and so they should be challenging, but they shouldn't. But they should be realistic to accomplish. So you've got to understand yourself and be aware and just hit that sweet spot. Okay, but that's a bit of trial and error, and there's no harm in that. So the third way is to always include your why. So for me, if I was writing my blog or writing my book, I have a vision and a reason why I'm writing my book. And if I include my reason for writing my goal, the reason for my goal has the vision incorporated into it. So I would like to reach more people, and my book's going to do that. So if my 400 words today, I need to write 400 words on this topic by this time, so that I can finish my book and reach more people. Something like that. But you know what? It's a personal experience and it's a personal thing. And the final element to all this, I think, is to make it visual. If you can visualize the end point of your goal, and you can really think about how you will feel when you've completed that goal, big, small, it doesn't matter. But I think having that mental representation, just like you do for your vision, it's really important to have that for your goal. Now you may say, well, look, if I've got 5 goals today, I can't be sitting here dreaming up visions of every goal, but you can, and it doesn't take a long time. So I visualize the end of my day, or the end of my 3 hour slot, which is the times that I work. And I visualize that I'm going to have a really enjoyable cup of tea, bit of chocolate, whatever it is as my reward, and I visualize that I've completed what I set out to do. And writing those goals down at the beginning of that session really helps me to visualize, and it also helps me to complete. So those are the 4 ways. Make them specific, make them realistic, include your why. You must include your why, and make them visual. So how do I do mine? And my process is that I have daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and 3 yearly goals, and then I have the life goals. So that does sound a lot, doesn't it? But it actually breaks down to a really simple way of doing things. If you start at the top and you work backwards, so you know that your goal for life is whatever it may be, to have contentment in your working life, and have become a business owner. So that might be one of your real key passions, is to have your own business, because it gives you that contentment and that being able to be master of your own destiny. Perfect. Wonderful goal. Wonderful vision. So in order to work backwards from that life vision or that life plan, I would then say, well, for me, maybe in the next 1 to 3 years, what do I want to achieve? Maybe to have looked at buying a business. But that's not specific enough. Maybe it is to have bought a business. And then the 1 yearly goal, in order to get me to that purchase of a business maybe would be to actively seek out practices to view or businesses to view so that I'm building up my knowledge base. And I'm going to set that at say 15 businesses this year I'm going to look at, so that it gives me a good understanding of the businesses that are out there, prices I should pay, and therefore it's working towards my lifetime vision of owning my own business. Um, and also, while I'm doing that, I'll look to include in my yearly goals that I need to get better at finances. I might want to understand marketing. So on the finance section, I might be very specific that this year I'm going to really concentrate on understanding the profit and loss balance sheet and other aspects, um, like reporting or online financial software, but I'll make it very specific to learn that. And maybe I'm going to also look at some of the legal aspects of owning a business, like the sale and purchase agreement, but I'm going to be very specific again. So then, if that's my yearly goal, my monthly goal would be to enroll on an accounts course, do some coursework, do some online courses, and really prepare myself for hitting my targets going backwards or going upwards. And then, so that brings me down to my weekly goals, which might be to do my homework for my course or meet more people and network to meet more people so that I have a better understanding of what business life might be like. It might be to meet practice owners, business owners who can guide me and give me some insight. So I'm always pushing myself forward. And then my daily goals will be broken down and distilled from those weekly goals. And it does sound like a lot, but it actually all follows. And it's wonderful that you're sitting at your desk doing your daily goals, but you know that they're chipping away at your vision. They're chipping away at where you want to be in 5 or 10 or 15 years' time. And that's incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. So there's lots you can do, and it's amazing how just that incremental gain, that small movement forward, can make such a difference to your life when you look back on it. So the power of taking consistent action on a daily basis is that you make progress every day, and making progress every day, no matter how small, is amazing, and it is so important, because you shouldn't underestimate the the importance and the benefit of just the slight edge, just a slight gain each day, just a movement forward. A daily 1% improvement will lead to huge results. A daily 0.5% improvement in what you're doing will lead to huge results, but you've just got to start. And that's the hardest bit for most people. It's just getting that momentum going. So it doesn't have to be perfect to begin with. Everything I've talked about can be refined over time, and we must allow ourselves the latitude and the comfort to change what we're doing day to day. It doesn't mean that your long term goals are changing every single day, but I would look at your 5 year goal as an 1800 day business plan that changes every week or changes every month, because ultimately your vision for your future should never be achieved, because the idea of your vision is that it evolves as you evolved, and it becomes ever more out of reach because you have to strive for something. And I find for myself that as I look back on the different goals in my life, from being a teenager just wanting a bike, to being an 18-year-old just wanting a car, and that was all consuming. And if you said what was the vision of my life, it would have been to have a bike. But obviously things change, don't they? Sometimes we get what we vision because they were ridiculously small, or we understand that we have to refine and grow those visions to stretch us and grow us to who we need to be. So I hope this has been an interesting and informative, just whirlwind about um, goal setting, and how important it is to really understand your own attitude to your own learning and development, and the fact that I want you to also understand that it's not set in stone, and you can change things, and you can mix it up, and you can try things that work for you, and maybe they don't work and you move on and you try something else. But it's all about um, just moving forward, day by day, bit by bit. And I think, especially where we are at the moment, we've all got a lot of time, or a lot of us have got a lot of time, and it's kind of important to leave this period having grown, developed, moved forward, and maybe understood ourselves a lot better. So take care. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to bring you something equally, if not more, informative and educational next time. And yes, Bobby's popped on there to be kind to yourself and to look after um, your own self during these days. So anyone's got any comments or questions, please, on my Facebook live, could you add my YouTube channel? It's just my name. If you search Fuzz Jamal, you should be able to find it. I'll pop a link in. And my Instagram, guys, please, if you could also do the same and add yourself to my YouTube channel, that would be really helpful, because I think a lot of these talks are going to move towards YouTube in the future. Take care of yourselves, and as I say, anything I can help you guys with, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Take care. And for the individuals that stayed on my YouTube channel, just a quick note to say, I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives and Instagram Lives and YouTube Lives at 12 o'clock all this week. Topic to follow. Look forward to seeing you here again soon.